Hello, everybody. Welcome back to LangTime Studio. It's David and Jesse. I wanted to start out with a message. Today, we are asking those who can to donate to Act Blue. They've set up kind of a fund that will donate to bail fund, bail funds across the country. For those for those protesters who have been arrested protesting against police brutality. So if you're not in the United States, this is pretty much the issue in the United States right now. If you are in the United States, you know it's been a week, and so we wanted to do something, but at the same time we're not local in the sense that Jesse is in Texas and that I am in California. And so we thought that that this donation site would be pretty good. If you want to support one local organization over another, this also gives you the option to split your donation up so that it doesn't go to like all 70. But anyway, in terms of what you can do that is helpful, I thought that bail funds are good. Because, of course, you know what bail is. I don't know, they might not have this in other countries, but essentially, when you're arrested, they are going to put you on trial, but not immediately. And so they say, pay us this much money, and then come back at this date. If you come back, you get the money back. But of course, some people simply don't have that money. And so then they get stuck in a holding cell until their trial. And of course, during a global pandemic, that's probably the last place anybody should be, is in a holding cell. So we thought this would be the most helpful and the most immediate, you get the most immediate benefit out of it. Especially because, later on when it comes to trials, there are going to be a lot of attorneys doing pro bono work because there are a lot of good attorneys out there. But I've never seen any pro bono bail companies saying,
yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. So anyway, I have the site open here. I put the link in the chat. Unfortunately, I was hoping we could pin it. I don't know. Jesse tried. I tried. We couldn't do it.
No.
I wanted to try to make it so that our logo, which when you press on it, it goes to a subscribe function. If we could change the link that goes to, but you can't do that either. So just go, it's secure.actblue.com/donate/bail_funds_George_Floyd. But of course, you could probably just type that into Google and it'll come up. And again, you can, I really think in situations like this, it falls on those who are in a better financial position to donate. You should not feel pressured, especially if, you have little money to begin with, and if you've been hurt by COVID-19 anyway, as a lot of people have. So, anyway, but I just wanted to let you know that we donated, we want to help, and if you can, we'd encourage you to help as well. All right, so now on to conlanging. Jesse, take it away.
I have a poll to report on because, as you may have recalled, our last episode ended as we were trying to decide how to do possession and how to mark that. We had 7 prepositions, I believe, in our last episode.
Yeah. Trying to find them. Do you remember where it was at?
I need to look. We labeled it with the giant prepositions. Is it not coming up by a
preposition
search?
Brainstorming? Here we are.
It's like, tell me we didn't lose all of that. But anyway, we were finally working on the possessive part of it to decide which of our prepositions would be used. So we put that to our patrons. The 2 that came on bottom were the ablative and the superessive. So the nya and z, those both had the least amount of votes. They each only got 6 votes across the whole thing.
Wow. Were they also the ones on the bottom of the list?
They were. So they were like options C and D. So maybe options A and B just stood out most, or people just liked it better. I don't know. And then A and B, we were for a while during the week. There was a moment when we thought we were going to have a tie. It ended up by the end of the week here differentiating itself. And so allative lost. Lu is not our marker. The winner is the adessive ah with 18 votes.
All right. Well, that is pretty good. I like that for a number of reasons. One, we already had this other thing going on with L's, right?
Yes.
So that'll be less confusing. But also, when it comes to animacy, right, and use in prepositions, I like the use of at because it's going to be very rare, I think, that this preposition gets used with some sort of animate being in a non-possessive way.
Right.
Whereas you can talk about things being on a person or from a person, going towards a person, but at a person, that's a little strange. And so it's going to be less likely that there will be cases of ambiguity. Not that that's a terrible thing, but it does make things a little bit easier. So that's nice. Okay, so then let's delete that. And before we forget, let's go ahead and write this down somewhere.
Us write something down in the moment?
I know.
It seems very unlikely.
Okay, so let's go back to our original note on possession so that I can remember what
Right.
I said.
And that was much further above, and I believe...
Oh, yeah. This was just a demonstration that inalienable possession was going to be with properties as well. Mm-hmm. So like the color of the shed or the weight of the rock. Okay.
Right.
Good. Okay, so then let's go to where we would write that up, which I have to think is going to be under nouns, so not in the quick reference section. Adjectives, noun, function, noun, possession. Okay. Okay, let's see what words are good. Nouns. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, brain, stop.
Also, I don't know if this came across because the relevant phoneme wasn't there, but I was thinking of marriage. But then it's like I said nouns and realized, oh wait, there's nothing in that word that's going to make that clear.
No.
Okay.
However, I just happened to be sitting on a Nizine is rose in the singular. It could be like the rose of the rabbit or the rabbit's rose.
A rabbit's rose. You familiar with that? I forget what the name of it is for that competition where you try to get the same sound a bunch of times in a row. And there was that famous one, and it's like and rose, something like that.
I think. How many times did they get that one? I know Buffalo. They did Buffalo.
I mean that's indefinite. This one was like it's like they set up a story, right? And it was like there was somebody named Rose, and she was at a competition for roses, and they were all sitting in a row. Do you know what it actually is?
Yes. It's this long shaggy dog story, but in the end, the final punchline is, and when it came time to award the prize for the most rose.
Oh.
Because she's sitting there, and they award her she stands.
I thought
receive the prize.
I thought somebody had gone further because they were awarding it by row, which row who had the most, rose.
Well,
and then so it was rose. One of them was singular.
Well, the actual competition, you have to do the exact same word.
It might have been possessive.
But then people may have. But no, in the actual competition, it's not homonyms. It's the actual word.
The actual word. Get out of here. Homonyms are good enough.
What I'm saying is this is a write-in competition that people do every year to put together these stories with the...
I don't doubt it.
So, And in that competition, homonyms don't count.
That just seems
Homonyms
needlessly restrictive.
Homonyms should count. I'm going to say
and
that
you
right
also can only get credit for each meaning of the word once. So, you know, you can't use rose as rose or, you know.
All right.
I'm just saying, that's the rule.
There's too many rules.
I came running from another room to share this with you guys because
Thank
you're
you.
telling the story wrong.
I love it.
It's very important.
Thank you, Erin.
You're welcome. I'm signing off now.
Over and out.
Wait. Not alienable nouns. Inalienable possession is expressed with simple juxtaposition. And alienable possession is expressed with an appended prepositional phrase. See? That's how words work.
And appended. Appended is such a nice word, isn't it?
Thank you. Now I'm going to go back and fix the first sentence, which is a disaster. Angala makes a distinction.
Oh, well, Erin is getting so many thank yous in our chat, by the way. So make sure, if she's not hearing this right now, we're all thanking her.
By the way, I'm going to... My daughter's playing outside, so I'm going to turn off notifications on my phone so that I don't get a bunch of blippity blips. And then, is it still going? It's still going. It's still going. Okay. All right. Makes a distinction between alienable and inalienable possession. Simple juxtaposition. Alienable. Okay. Here are some relevant examples.
And tell me what words you would like, and I will find them since you don't have them all memorized.
Yes, I don't. Okay, so let's do, for alienable possession, let's do the rabbit's... Do we have father yet? Mother and father?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Okay, let's do the rabbit's father.
Okay, and father is to.
Of course it is. Okay, so to and ime, and that is the rabbit's father, doime. And then, let's do a little thing here. So this is inalienable possession. And then I'm going to make a little note. Inalienable possession, just so that we're remember. So inalienable possession, actually that should be underlined too, because that's the way I like to do it. This is kinship, right?
It is kinship.
Yes, because even if they're not there, they remain your father. Okay, so kinship. And then let's do a body part.
Well, we've got options. Do you want a nose?
Of course I want a nose. The rabbit's nose. Minaime, right?
Yeah. Oh my. I was so ready, and you knew what it was. Is that somewhere right above you, or did you just remember it?
No, I remember that one. I'm not going to forget that one.
You are so good.
It's Mina. It was one of the ones our patrons wanted. It's the same name as the daughter of Malcolm Murray in Penny Dreadful.
Of course.
Who was taken by the vampire. Spoiler, season 2. And the actress has a cute nose. See? Anyway, so
it's an obvious connection.
Simple as that. And then let's do. Now this is going to be hard. We might need to create a word for this. Property or quality. So this is something like color, weight, texture, maybe even emotion. Do we have anything like that?
We have fluffy is hammy, but that's not a noun.
No, we need fluffiness. Yeah. Gosh darn it.
Mm. Yeah. I think that's the closest thing.
Name is good, but we don't have a word for name. Scent is good. Scent is good. Did we have a word for scent, or was it just for smell?
We have a verb for smell.
A verb.
And
this is difficult because I've recently been to my wiki. I've been adding a lot of words from what you call it, the Munjakin language from Emerald City. Yes, the show that had one fan. I think her name was Jessie. Anyway, but
and Will watched it with me every week.
Good for him. But that one had that language. God, I love that language so much.
Yes.
It had a similar inspiration to this language, which is starting with kamakawi but wanting to do it right. Yeah, that one, it actually had subject markers the way that kamakawi does, but I tried to do something good with them. Anyway, in Munjakin, there's a meridian. No, meridian. Don't. Oh my goodness.
Is everything okay?
The garage door was closing, and she was running straight over to it. Anyway.
She's okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She was just pointing at something, but it's just, in the heat of the moment, you saw it looked like she was going to run. Anyway. I mean, be thinking myself. It's not like it even matters. These garage doors have sensors. This is a brand new garage door that we installed recently. It would have stopped. That
doesn't make it any less terrifying when in the moment you just see it all happening at once.
Yeah.
Totally okay.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
About Munchakin and a marker that was similar, a subject marker.
Yeah. Oh, so it there is a like the only distinction that verbs make in this language is they have a very like predictable way of changing from like a base verbal form to a verbal noun form because it's called for in certain constructions. That if it had an inspiration, I don't remember, it may have been inspired by like the one suffix on Hawaiian verbs, which is this passive suffix that occurs throughout Polynesian. It's always ia, but it can call up a former dead consonant, if you've ever seen my video for the old dead consonant trick. And so it's the type of thing that you just have to memorize with each verb. Like, is it the basic consonant that comes with ia? Is it a glottal stop, or is it some specific consonant? And of course, as time wears on, people are going to forget it, and it'll just get analogized. But anyway, so that was what was going on with Munjankin. Anyway, the point is, it was really easy to come up with verbal nouns in that, and you always knew what verbal nouns were. But we didn't do it here. But I feel like we did, because I was just working with a similar language.
Well, and Juniper brought up the fact that we had kind of decided that C could be site, like going to the site of the hole instead of the C hole. And so that base form of some verbs could be used as a noun form. So that's...
Okay. Yes. But, here's the big but. The idea was that was going to happen at a time early on in the language where it was going to be, a little bit blurry as to what was a noun and a verb before things settled down. Now, it does absolutely remain the case that certainly there will be some nouns that are zeros derived from verbs, but it's not necessarily the case that it'll be for every single type of verb, or B, that the connection between the two will be regular, so that you could have a situation, and I'm trying to think of an English example because we have tons of these, Well, this is not a great example, but it'll give you an example. We have something called like a free write, in English, and that's an instance where you're writing and you can write whatever you want. It's like something that happens at school, free write, and it's kind of a noun, but we know that the verbal noun form of write is writing. So that's just like an example where it's like you have both and they exist, but they exist for different reasons. Can you think of a verb like that in English? Like
where you end up getting the base form to be a noun?
Like, yes.
Like walk, jump?
And it's
like I took a walk?
And it's distinguished from the ing form.
Oh, where you actually, okay.
Yeah. Like a jump, for example. A jump versus jumping. And the second one becomes more... It's much clearer that when you say jumping, it means the act of jumping. Whereas like a jump has a series of very specific meanings. And so it's like you have to use jumping. I don't know. Anyway, so what am I talking about? All right. Oh, yeah. So the smell of the...
Because we don't have a word that is a quality per se.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking of maybe a perception. And I ended up getting a little bit lost. I was going to make sure there was nothing else we had. I think it may be best to just create one at this point.
But how? If we haven't decided if we're doing regular derivation for this or not.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a perception though. It was, you had said we could do a quality, right?
Do you have some ideas?
I would have an idea. I thought at one point I would have an idea. Why do we have a word for origin? We have a word for origin. Origin?
Okay, I gotta see this.
Did we pull?
Oh, source. Oh my God! Yes, that's it. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Source of the river. Do we have a word for river? If not, we're gonna get a word for river right now.
We do not have a word for river.
Oh, yes. This is good news right here. Okay. Okay, so back to life, back to reality. Anybody? Zeriva. Okay, Zeriva of the river. Can river be Zeus? River can be Zeus. Listen, if you want river to be Zeus, river is Zeus. There we go. That's easy. That's done.
I think I can mark off that note thing because I seriously had don't forget Zeus because I know, but we also had that giant asterisk that we pulled down just so that way.
Oh yeah.
Because I know Isaac has been very excited about that one.
And now, here we go. Gotta do a little something right here. We don't need that. And just a moment while I add a little. And then there we go.
Oh. That is beautiful.
Perfect. Okay.
and as Isaac just said, rivers do Zeus. I love it.
Okay, so body part, kinship, property, and then does that basically cover it? I mean, for the basic cases.
For basic, yeah.
There are obviously going to be special cases where they just take an alienable possession, but we'll want to mark that in the lexicon because it's unpredictable. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. How about, here are some relevant examples of inalienable. Do you ever have words that it's very difficult for you to type in the correct order?
Yes.
Alienable and inalienable are those words for me. I really want to type them in totally incorrect orders.
Mine, unfortunately, is language. I type it a lot.
Oh my god.
My fingers just don't want to move in that way. They want to make better spelling.
I mean, I can certainly understand for somebody that, doesn't deal with language a lot on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh my god.
That's why I wasn't joking when I had sent you something to proofread, and I'm like, thank God I didn't have any language misspellings. I wasn't joking.
I'm gonna need a little something for this.
Oh, I think I do too. Aww.
Everybody, there we go.
So this is my first one ever.
Oh yeah. Everybody.
Okay, being very careful because I hear they fly out.
Please be quiet.
I don't want to. Oh my gosh, they really are difficult to open. He was not kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it does smell rather delicious.
Hang on.
Woo! I almost dropped it anyway.
Okay. Before you do that, cheers.
Oh, cheers! Yes. Clink.
To flavor.
To Copico. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was amazing. That is worth the wait. And this one, I actually got Copico unopened and uneaten, so that was exciting. Wrong participle.
I feel dirty for this, but it's like I tried to send her one Copico via the U.S. mail, the U.S. Postal Service. I put all the postage on there, and it was absconded with. And so then I had to resort to Amazon. I mean...
And it arrived.
So there it is.
Although I will say it also arrived via the USPS, so it was still a postal service.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. All right, so...
That is some good coffee flavor right there.
Yes. Oh, so good. All right, now I need a non-bulleted paragraph. Do I have one of those already? Here we go.
Oh, an indented non-bulleted?
Yeah, I just like copying and pasting. I don't like having to deal with stuff. Let's see. There will be additional instances of Alienable Possession, but these will be lexical and will be documented in the lexicon. Here are some relevant examples of alienable possession.
So, Dark Horse and I think it was just Dark Horse asking if Zeus, the word for river, could be related to the word for snake. And I think that depends on how common snakes are.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's kept me up nights trying to think of what place snakes hold in this world. I don't want to just throw that out there immediately, because if snakes are much more common, and it seems like they would be natural predators of rabbits, but honestly, I don't know how much those two guys hang out. And if it varies region by region. So I know, like, in the Midwest, for example, you've got jackrabbits and you've got rattlers. So clearly they've seen each other. They know of each other's existence. But in a forest setting, in a temperate forest setting, how often are they seeing snakes? I just don't know.
I mean, if there are snakes, I would imagine they would at some point see them, if nothing else. It's from a distance. And Nick just pointed out that snakes would be predators of mice, and mice and rabbits are friends. Therefore, snakes would not necessarily be friendly forces.
Absolutely.
With rabbits.
Very good point. Yeah. Mice are the natural prey of snakes. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just makes me laugh because recently my dad, because he does live in the country, and he's very excited by some of the snakes that they get there.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them, but some of them, because they do take care of some, rodent problems. And so he had a snake living by his greenhouse, and he was treating it like a pet snake, making sure the snake was safe before he would blow leaves or whatever to clean up. And he's has to make sure the snake was safe. And I'm like, if I saw that snake, I would just go running the other way, could leave the greenhouse, take it all, I don't care, never coming back.
Applesauce Project notes that according to the Chinese zodiac, snakes and rabbits get along well in romantic relationships. Ooh.
Oh, now that's interesting. I don't even know what I am, according to Chinese zodiac.
Johan has asked if friend is inalienable, and I think that this is the type of thing where this just came to mind. I have no idea if another natural language has done this, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. You know how, at least in the past, I don't know if this is still the case in German, but it was kind of a deal when you went from addressing somebody as Sie to addressing somebody as Du. What if there was same word for friend, but you used it as alienable possession if it was an acquaintance, and inalienable possession if it was a good friend? And there was...
I like that. Like a bosom buddy, kind of kinship.
Yes. And you can actually... We almost have this in English. I mean, this is basic iconicity. This is that Heyman stuff. By the way, did I send you that article by Heyman?
No, but I have it written down that I still haven't looked it up.
That was a good one.
Oh my gosh.
But
it was 1984, right?
Yes. We have this in English where, it's a different thing if I say Jesse is my friend versus Jesse is a friend to me. It's not the same distinction as I'm talking about here. If you think about it in English, it's more like... How would you define that when you say in English, that person is a friend to me?
That doesn't mean we're friends, I guess.
It's like...
They're a friend to me. That means that, toward me, they're nice. I can't vouch for them.
In this context, they've
fulfilled whatever requirements there would be for that.
Yeah, almost like, and you see it a lot more with impersonal entities, say I don't know, the linguistics department is a friend to the language instruction departments that are on campus. And I guess it means it's more of a professional type of friendship, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but the point, and this goes back to that Heyman article, is if you use more words where you could have used less, you do it for a reason. And
so,
go ahead.
Do you happen to remember what it was called? Because I was going to look it up real quick.
I don't even... Is it John Heyman? John Heyman, 1984, Iconicity? That should...
Is it H-A-Y?
H-A-I.
H-A-I-M-A-N.
Yeah.
Okay. And Mike asked a great question. If the zodiac is based on social security number, and I feel like, we need to just get some numbers floating out there just to check. 1984. I'm going to find this, maybe, hopefully, in my library, so that way I can mark it, or maybe I won't. That's okay.
Jackie Chan is a really great guy. He had this cartoon once, the Jackie Chan Adventures. He didn't do a voice on it, but in the credits, he would answer questions from fans. And I remember once, one of the questions that was asked was, what is your favorite color? And I guess, I don't know, for some reason, he thought, well, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not choosing their favorite color. And so his response, he was saying, "Oh, I like all the colors, like red, blue, yellow, white, green, orange." It's just I like listing like every color. And
he always makes fun of me saying that my favorite color is a rainbow because they all look so pretty together.
But it reminded me of that since you were talking about Social Security numbers. Like, let's get all the numbers out there. It's like, oh, there would be so many good numbers for my Social Security number. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, they're all good.
They're all just so good. Would it happen to be subordination and universal grammar?
Oh, no.
That's the only 1984.
Really?
Oh, wait. Here's a 1985.
Okay, try 85.
Iconicity and erosion.
Try that. And others, like, if you're following along on chat, if you could try to do a little search for this Heyman paper on iconicity, and you can post the link in the chat, that would be great.
That is okay. That may be it. Because the conceptual structures that are used to convey resemble each other because the different conceptual domains they represent are thought of in the same way. Aspects and motivation of linguistic forms. So it's that would be, if that's it, it's from the proceedings of a symposium on iconicity and syntax held at Stanford in 1983, and then it was published in 1985. So 84 was the natural mid-date, of course.
And is it kind of on the shorter end?
It is a chapter within a book.
Okay, no, that's not the right thing. I'll find it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Maybe this is why I haven't read it yet, because I forgot to tell you I couldn't find it.
Universal grandma. Oh,
I think Mateus found the book that I was looking at.
Hold on, though. LSG is saying the iconicity of grammar in 1980.
Yes.
Whereas Nakai is asking, are you sure? I think that's the right one. And let me tell you, when I see it, I'll know. I'll know if it's the right one.
Oh, this one was
not.
published by Linguistic Society of America. The 1981. So that would be a journal article. It's 25 pages. I don't know if that's short for you.
I had a feeling it was shorter than that because I really don't like to read stuff.
But, I mean, as a journal article, sometimes they look smaller.
There's a reason I'm not an academic. I mean, let's be honest. There are many reasons.
How are you not... Whatever. You're totally an academic.
Okay, anyway, yeah, so let's... Oh, sorry, I'm sidetracking us. Let's do alienable possession. So the rabbits. I mean, let's go ahead and do the example. What was the word for hoe?
Nojepada, right?
No.
Or no, wait, that was. No, it would be. It was, yeah, Nojepada. I was right. See, I remembered one.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, we need to take a moment to be proud of me.
Yeah. Jesse. Doing the thing.
So my students this past year, by the way, were just old enough that they grew up on the Disney Channel show Jessie, and so whenever I'd walk in the room, they'd sing the Hey Jessie song for me.
Wow.
It was great.
No para, Aime. Okay. Do we need a bunch of examples for this? I don't think we do.
I don't think so, because it's like...
It's the default.
This is how, if it's alienable, if it's not in one of these inalienable categories, then
okay,
it would be alienable.
Alienable.
I think Ellis hit it on the nail here with the article in 1980. I think this may be what you've been potentially referencing.
Okay.
I will send a link to you afterwards, and maybe you can verify.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Done. All right.
Yay!
Fantastic. Okay. And we got our word for river. What's the what's the plural of river going to be? Probably the same as a one for Warren. Or source of a river. Duh. Okay. Here we go.
It's going to be the toe, right?
Yep. Tozus.
Verifying. Unless we want to consider river as edible.
All right. River. Rabbit. Rain. Jesse, you seen Singing in the Rain?
No, I'm laughing. Evan knows the Hey Jesse song because Evan continued the lyrics in the chat.
Well done.
Spot on.
You seriously haven't seen Singing in the Rain?
I have. I thought
you
you
have.
said, am I singing it?
Oh, no.
I thought I sounded like I was singing it. Of course
There
I've
we go.
seen it.
Moses supposes his toes are roses, but Moses supposes erroneously. Right. By the way, though, like,
Okay.
what was the deal with people like? I mean, we're talking like 20th century, thinking like proper English includes trills. Who was thinking that? Like,
The transatlantic people were?
I guess they just pull that up out of nowhere. Like, people learning Spanish now have no idea. Back then, if you wanted to get into movies, ridiculous.
Back then, if you wanted to get in the movies, you had to be talented.
No.
Had to be able to sing, dance,
Oh yeah.
act.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we have done that. We're going to have to add a bunch of these prepositions to our lexicon, but I'll go ahead and do that later. Because I think we've done what we need to do with our prepositions. We have enough for right now. I understand that we didn't do anything for this or this, and we might have more prepositions later, but we've got enough. We've got enough.
We have enough to establish a set
Yeah.
pattern and way of thinking about them, so if we do need more,
Yeah.
we have a starting point.
Don't need that anymore. Okay, so then I think that what we need to do is talk about sentence structure. Got our verbs, demonstratives. Ooh, laswa, like that. It's pretty cool.
As a side note, one last thing here on the Heyman paper. Nikai mentions that Heyman cites Iconicity of Grammar, the 1980 article, in his chapter in that volume, that book, Iconicity and Syntax. So that, and Mike, that's a great question. We haven't talked about negators yet. Huh?
We haven't, but we can now. Oh, this is where it gets fun.
It hasn't been fun yet?
No, it's just been drudgery. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do relative clauses, or do you want to do negation?
Negation.
Okay, so here's what Hawaiian does, all right? Hawaiian's got this whole separate thing where essentially Hawaiian word order, right, is VSO, but in negation, the word order is negative SVO. And the way that it works is essentially you have this thing, you know, aole. That's the wrong. Don't you dare correct me. I chose that for a reason, sir. I was trying to do the proper okina. It won't do it. All right, forget it. Anyway, so you got, I don't know, aole kanaka, and then what's he not doing? Aole kanaka, I can never remember words in Hawaiian. O means like swim. He's not swimming, but then that's not transitive. We need a transitive verb in Hawaiian.
I really can't help you.
Anybody? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out, but I guess I can do aloha.
Transitive verb in Hawaiian.
The man doesn't love you. A'ole kanaka aloha oe. And I think that is correct.
Oh, there's a sentence here, though. Don't become a thief.
Oh, what's it got? What's it got?
Oh, I gotta go back now. Just a second. My Lilo E Aikue, maybe?
Oh.
Copy it.
Well, that one has the negative imperative, though. My.
Okay. I was gonna copy and paste it in because I know my pronunciation was probably...
But that does raise some questions. So, negation. Negating clauses. Negating non-verbal phrases. Negating imperatives.
Do they have a deliberate transitive verb versus a spontaneous transitive verb? That's what this website is suggesting. Aloha is a spontaneous, in case you're wondering.
Okay.
Deliberate is I with a glottal stop up front.
Ai, is that eat?
No idea. It doesn't define it.
Huh.
It just gives me the example. But it does say section 4.3, so maybe if I go to section 4.3, I can learn more.
I mean, I've got all the reference books back there.
It's eat.
Yeah, so it is I. Okay. Now, I know that... Is there anything different about aloha? Does it not take E for its objects? So, like, you know... And then, oh, that was embarrassing. Of course, there should have been an article. So, like, I don't know, aloha ke kanaka I kawahine, or is it just aloha ke kanaka wahine, kawahine?
I believe the E is in there because the example they give, love your parents, has E in it.
Well, then what's the difference? I mean, there's a big distinction in Hawaiian where there's a distinction between words that basically switch the order of agent and patient.
I think it may have to do with how you translate them and like what they mean. Because it gives two examples that look the same on the surface, but because one is a spontaneous versus a deliberate transitive verb, one would more naturally be interpreted as past tense and the other would be more naturally interpreted as present tense.
Oh, yes.
And so it's he drank the rum versus he likes rum, and they don't have any overt grammatical marking to indicate tense difference. It's just the verb type that differs.
Is it ua? Do they have ua in there? UA?
Yes.
That's it. Okay, ua is a perfective marker, and so with what they're calling... I don't know what their distinction was, but essentially if it's like a dynamic verb, then it's perfect. He ate. But if it's a stative verb, I guess the idea is that if you were in the state of being, you know, having this emotion, then it persists to this day. So it's permanent. So that makes sense. Okay. So ua aloha ke kanaka I kawahine. That makes sense. I like that. Dang, what a good language. It's my favorite.
It really is.
Yep.
I'm going to earmark that for more. And Zach, I don't think we're ready to think about double negation quite yet. Let's figure out one negative first.
Yeah. So.
But we'll see where it goes from there.
So we have potential for marking things differently here. Negating clauses, negating nonverbal phrases, and negating imperatives, where there are languages that do these things differently. Certainly you're well familiar with German, where you have the distinction between kein and nicht, right? Which is kein is used for, you know, nonverbal stuff, and nicht is used for verbal stuff. And then we had the example of Hawaiian just now of them having a different kind of auxiliary, if you think of it that way, for imperatives. Let's come up with some examples. I don't think, do we ever come up with a way to do imperatives? We didn't, right?
No.
There doesn't necessarily need to be a different way, but it's something that we can think about.
Literally, this one example that you just typed of imperative is the only time imperative shows up in the document.
I have an idea. I don't know if you're going to like it, but I have an idea. But let's at least come up with some examples in English that it won't kill us to get words for all this stuff. But just in English. Okay, how about what do we got? The rabbit is eating the grass?
Yeah, we can eat. We can have blade of grass, definitely.
We can do plural, right? That's just grass, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we can also do plural. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the rabbit is eating grass. This is present tense. The rabbit is not eating the grass. The rabbit is eating no grass. Do not eat the grass. And then, so the question is how to do these things. But also, let's go ahead and throw this in there, since we haven't handled it. Eat the grass.
Yes.
Okay.
As all rabbit parents are used to telling their kids.
Yes. Eat that grass. Or, in the case of my child, Daddy, can I have grass? You bet. Here's me going to make grass. Here's your grass. Can I have something different?
No.
Why?
Because I said so.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I believe this is Calby, right?
Yes. And when I was typing, I hope I didn't ruin something in our document, because earlier I was searching for something and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't typing in the find box. I may have taken out a word that was highlighted while I was trying to use the find box. So at some point, if we're reading a sentence and a word is missing, I'm sorry. That was me.
What page were you at?
Well, that's a great question. The reason I even bring that up is because I had imperative highlighted and I went to go to the find box again and it didn't highlight right. And so whenever I typed eat to search for the verb to double check Calby, imperative was replaced by eat. I switched that back, but then I was like, shoot, I hope I haven't done that already today. So anyway, that's all. That's just saying I hope nothing was killed.
You didn't just delete our entire section on imperatives, did you? We spent 2 full episodes on that.
I believe that is exactly what happened. It's gone. Just
my
forever.
book. Ruined.
Forever.
All right. Oh yeah, you know what? Jennifer Berry is raising a good point. There was the whole issue about if we're going to have different words for eating based on what was being eaten, and this kind of sidesteps that. Let's just go ahead and use this as an example while bearing that question in mind for later, because we want to just focus on negation and get that done. This will do, even if ultimately it's going to end up not being felicitous. Okay? Now, was it...
In case you were wondering, yeah. Abu would be to eat, to mash up.
Ah. Was edulu the plural, or was that the singular?
That is the plural, and I'm going to check, because tulu should be the singular. Yes, edulu is the plural.
And yes, I did include the agreement, because the great thing about this is that the... Oh, but it's plural. No, you're right. No, I didn't include the agreement. Thank you, because it agrees with edulu, the absolutive argument, not the agent. My bad. Thank you. This is what happens. This is why there are so many mistranslated things in Game of Thrones. I'm sorry. All right.
I thought it was because you were trying to make it more natural, knowing that native speakers make mistakes all the time. I thought that was a conscious decision. Was that not?
No.
Trying to give you a way out here.
Wow, is that really... Is that
There's
really
our
the
chart.
plural? I guess it is.
Of what? Sorry.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh, there we go. I'm on the wrong page. Okay. We're good.
It's gonna be a long ass plural. Okay. So. That's the sentence there. Kalbiasase dulu. I'm sorry. Kalbiasase dulu nime. There we go. Does that doesn't stop the voicing, does it? It shouldn't. It is. Thank you. Yes, Edulu. Let me.
Okay. Well, that is a big. Huh.
Kalbiasas. Yeah. Okay. Just. Yeah.
I was double checking the charts there, but yeah, that is just.
That's fine.
Big verb form.
It reminds me of Greek for some reason. I don't know.
Which is a great language, too.
Thank you. Thank you, Metes. Yeah, 3 syllables isn't that long. Okay, good. The rabbit is eating the grass. We did it. All right. Now.
Yeah, I've lost where we are. And I'm afraid to use the search box again.
Just do highlight everything and then press Command X. I think that's how you find.
It's gone. And Nick points out that as a Greek learner, this is too short for Greek.
It's probably right. Oh man. By the way, it's good that even though they're not Pages documents, they're PDFs. Isn't it nice that we have weekly backups? Why?
It really is. So that way I can find out what else I deleted by accident. Because I know it's happened earlier today. Because at one point I was like, why isn't it typing in the find box? And I know something must have been highlighted, but I don't remember what I was searching for. Oh, so
that's definitely more than we do for our own languages.
I want to just point out that I was counting syllables over here.
Uh-huh.
The English and the Ingala have exactly the same number of syllables in that sentence.
Yes. All right. We're good.
I was over here counting. So no, it's not too many syllables.
Very good.
Okay, so is that our imperative?
Well, that's like the basic. That's like what it could be. That's what it could
be.
Yeah. So now the question is, and the nice thing is that we don't have to do anything since the absolutive is the basic form, right? This would be plenty simple. And it also means that, hold on. Wait, I don't know what I'm thinking. No, never mind. You know what? Forget it. I'm not even going to say it. Wait, okay, hold on. It could be the case that while these are agreement forms, they could just be embedded pronouns, so Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Sorry. I was looking at, Zach had asked a question, which one is the reduplicated, the perfect or the imperfect? And I was double checking. Reduplicated is imperfective.
Yes, you are absolutely right.
So, and Mike just asked that too, because I was like, wait, I see an orange. So Mike asked that same question.
We'll fix it. I don't remember where is it?
At the bottom of page 14.
14, here we go.
Top of 15, it goes into the reduplication form.
No. Where are our examples?
Of the reduplication?
No, that we're writing right now. Trying to figure out negation.
Oh, where we were. That's a great question. That's on page 16.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, let's do that because I don't remember what the reduplicated form of this would be. I think cowgirl biasas. Is it? I don't remember.
It looks like it's mainly I know we would have to actually put it together.
Yeah, I don't want to figure it out. So we're just going to drop this into the perfective. It's no big deal.
Really?
Now, however, I think this remains, though, because the idea is it would be the basic form of the verb. Would be the imperative.
Kekaubi. We actually have that written down.
With no voicing?
Yeah, because the P from the end of the first syllable would have gone with it. So at one point it would have been kaupi. And that would have blocked, and then that would change to 2 Ks. We have the whole thing written out on page 15. There's
wow,
the whole string.
Because, and I remember saying this, that syllable would have dropped out, and now I'm questioning myself. Why would I have done that? Were we consistent with that in the verbs?
We only have that in the examples above it. I think that's the only place we've used it. So. Were we consistent on the 4 verbs we have examples for? I think we were.
Yeah, so this one it's consistent because we have the nasal, so that's fine. This one it's I don't think this is right then.
Which one is that?
Ogo, to fall. That is based on that logic. This should be okogun with a K, shouldn't it?
Okay.
Or just okun.
No, because it doesn't have a voiceless consonant at the beginning. Because the only reason was that P and K were coming together. They would get a geminate K at some point in history, and then it drops out.
But this is older. Oh, yeah. I guess yeah.
So
yeah.
If we had a voiceless consonant, if it were kogun, then it would be okogun.
Okay.
Kokogun.
Hey, no, that one's fine. Ooh, yeah. Now Chechesi, that one doesn't voice for different reason. That one doesn't voice for different.
That's the S.
Yeah, it's the S.
I mean, same kind of concept, though.
Yeah. I know I'm going to screw some of these up down the line. I always do. Well, boy.
Gotta embrace that. Okay. Going back to Kalbi Idulu. And Chris gave a whole little
etymology?
Yeah, it was an etymology. I just added as many syllables as I could, but that's a lovely markdown for us. Okay, so what were you thinking on the imperatives? Did you want to just leave that sort of base verb form with that?
This would be the easiest thing to do, and there's something quite attractive about it. There was an idea that I had where it was something like do, verb, object, do something like that. That would go hand in hand with having a negative auxiliary. But I'm not sure if I feel that in my bones anymore.
Okay, so I am going to say, though, I feel that more than I feel just having cowbee. I think mainly because cowbee by itself is being used as another conjugation, which it doesn't matter. We do this all the time in language, but like,
because you're saying that would also, it would be eat the grass, but also he ate the grass. Is that what is concerning?
It would still, I guess, with he ate the grass, I guess in some sort of passive sense or something, because it would still have to ask if it were a single blade of grass, right? Mm-hmm. Then I think it would be potentially ambiguous. I don't know. I think I just like having something that's an emphatic. I also am leaning towards wanting a different negation for imperatives, and you're right. Like if there's another sort of auxiliary or verb force up there, the negation can work with that to create a different negation for imperatives from just negation from clauses.
Yeah. So, a quick response. I do believe that negation will be the same in the imperfective, so that's not an issue. But let's think through the logic of this. We have verbs that specify an absolutive argument most of the time. So I think rather than do verb object, make object verb, it makes the most sense.
Interesting. Because essentially what you'd be saying is like, make the grass be eaten.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And Mike is pointing out the come eat food sort of English.
There is that. That kind of sidesteps the whole thing. That's actually really...
Do you really just want to erase it all and say base form?
No, I was just thinking that's like... that's really elegant and simple. That's really elegant and simple. And furthermore, we didn't need to use the verb come. We could use the word hop.
Oh, that would be even more exciting. More rabbity.
It would be more rabbity. And then what would happen is it would have that at the beginning, and what would follow would be the base form of the verb. Now that base form would be identical to the third person singular perfective, right, but it would be understood as an infinitive. Mm-hmm. So in other words, just unmarked for tense, unmarked for subject or agreement. And so it wouldn't even change for plural.
Right.
It wouldn't change for plural. At least the embedded verb wouldn't. Open question about if this thing is going to be particle or not. There's something really, really, really attractive about that.
Okay, so if you want to play around and see what that looks like, ahe is hop.
And the
A-H-E.
Yeah, and the protoform was A-H, schwa. Give me some space for that, so A-H, right. It comes ahe. And then the stress is like that.
It would just be on the first syllable.
Yeah. Now, two things can happen. One, just become ah. So it would look identical to our preposition, which would be interesting. It would be interesting for different reasons, right? And then two, I.
Yeah, that's actually, I like the I just because I like how it sounds.
I do too.
Excellent. But that would be an interesting, if it were just again, that would be like an interesting folk etymology of what really means, like at or toward.
Yeah.
Eat the grass is where it came from instead of hop. But anyway, I like how I sounds. Like how be a do. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, Yeah.
Are you reading comments?
Yeah, I was.
Are you looking at it?
I was reading comments and then I was pondering. Yeah.
Oh, it's always good to ponder.
Glancing out of the window, swirling my glass of brandy.
Very silently and invisibly.
Brooding.
A state of pensiveness.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let me jump over to ahe really quick, just to take a look at what our second person forms would be. Ahes and ahesis.
Yeah.
Ahes and ahesis. Ahesis.
I would like to claim I know that off the top of my head, but I had just looked at the hop chart to get the word for it.
Yeah. How about our pronouns? Is it just sa and something?
It is is singular and cis is plural.
Where is it? Sorry.
Page 21, the yellow, right at the top of the reference grammar. We put a lot of notes in between, so the reference grammar is getting really split apart.
Yeah, we'll clean those up eventually. Don't you worry. So, it could be I or ice, but I'm leaning towards just I. And furthermore,
I'm leaning towards something. I wonder if you're going to lean the same way.
If you wanted to just kind of like add again who should be doing it, you could do that as an optional phrase right there. Like okay. Tell me about your inclination. Get it?
Well, it was
etymology.
Just, love it. If you wanted to potentially have I or ice, the S only shows up if the verb that follows starts with a vowel.
Yeah,
it's disappearing.
I had thought of that as well.
Or it makes a voiced consonant voiceless if that's an option.
Yeah.
If it's somehow, but it wouldn't start with a voiced consonant really.
No.
Not a stop or anything.
Yeah. I was only afraid of suggesting that because I didn't want to get too cute. I mean, you know, at some point in time, you know, like, I mean, if Bibleridian's in here looking, he's gonna give us one of those, and then that's it. We're done.
I would like to see the emoji or emoticon version of in the chat box.
it's really weird that that we spelled that in English TSK.
Right.
What gave him that idea? I would
That is very interesting.
have done NTH. I'm sorry, NTCH.
I was like, how do you say it?
Yeah, sorry. No, yeah, that's more music.
So when you tisk, are you doing more of a ch thing?
Yeah. What?
Interesting.
Do you
I'm
do
more of a?
Why?
It's like interesting. Tisk tisk tisk.
It's, to me, it is quite nasal. It's identical to the the Arabic one where you just say like yeah or whatever, where you go, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Ooh, I do kind of a.
Yeah.
Like I don't do a cha. I don't get a cha though.
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Really? Because I don't feel any sort of cha-ness.
It's post-alveolar. It's distributed.
But it's also.
Oh no, Bibleridian is
going
here.
in.
Close it all up.
Yes.
Close it all up. Close it all up. We weren't doing anything. We weren't doing anything irregular and untoward. Good Lord. How do we do ice now?
With the freezer.
Goodness gracious. Do we even have a verb that begins with a vowel?
We do.
Of course we do. We have lots.
Because hop is about.
Oh my God. Of course it is. So.
Ugon means to touch with whiskers. So, like, we have the sentence Ugon puiba nime, which is the rabbit touched a bunch of berries with its whiskers.
What was that one again? Ugon?
Ugon.
Ugon. That's Ugon.
Ugon.
Okay, I kind of like this. Yeah, I kind of like this, and I hate that I like it, but I really like it. And so, even though Bibleridian is dead set against this, as we all know, I think that we should do it.
I mean, it's nice, right?
It's nice. Oh my God. Okay. We're gonna do it. So it's I before consonants and ice before vowels.
It's not too complicated.
God, it has been a rough week.
Although, don't ask me again in 2 weeks. I'll be like, wait, why do we have an S there?
Okay. So, all right. So we need to write this up somewhere. Where are our verbs?
Right above that page.
Okay. To make verb forms of the plan, perfective, duplicated. Okay, good. This is just a note we have, isn't it? This is just a note.
Which note?
Right here. And we did this for later because we didn't have prepositions. Okay. To smell something has an absolutive argument of a smeller and takes an oblative argument for an object as an experiencer verb. I want to revisit that.
Okay.
But let's
maybe just highlight it so we don't forget.
Yeah, let's do let's slice one mushroom at a time. Okay.
Is that a saying in California?
Yeah, that's all that we say. It's just everything is about mushrooms, man. Okay, so we're gonna do. What are we doing? Oh, right. Okay, to form imperatives. or other direct commands, because I don't know, I just am not feeling that expression. The particle I precedes verbs that begin with a consonant, and the particle ice take that Bibleridian precedes verbs that begin with a vowel. By the way, has anybody told Bibleridian what this is all about? Oh, and look at that. I misspelled it. Bibliaridian. So
wow. Put that on your list of frequently mistyped words.
Oh, gosh.
In haste.
Oh.
I don't think...
What a mess I am.
Bibleridian hasn't said anything other than
Oh,
what
no.
happened. I missed it. Oh, and of course, I have been summoned.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll await for final verdict on thoughts on that.
I hate that. Nice. Okay, so pre-consonantal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you ever say preconsonantal?
you know, I don't.
It just feels right.
Ice, baby. Hey, have you seen a lot of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers?
Not a lot, no. But I was just thinking it wouldn't be ice baby in this language. It would be ice baby. But back to you and Ginger Rogers. And
She got you there,
Ginger
Golden
Rogers.
Pelt. So, have you seen any Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers?
Yes, but it has been forever since I've seen them, and so titles, I couldn't tell you what movies they were.
Okay.
I remember there's a lot of dancing.
I'm pretty sure this was Top Hat, I can't remember, but they have a bunch. And all of their movies, and probably a lot of movies at the time, it was just, I don't know, to me it's kind of embarrassing. They always seem to have one song and dance number where it's like, hey, here's this new dance. Here's what it looks like. Everybody do it. And like, it would be one thing if it was short, but some of these go on for ages. And one of them is the Continental Ho Boy. It's like a 10-minute scene where it's just like, here's the plot of the movie going along. And then Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers look out and say, hey, what are they doing? And it's just, suddenly, it's all about, this is the Continental. This is a dance called the Continental. Everybody do the Continental. And it
See,
just
now don't you want to say
going.
consonantal to set it apart?
The Continental. Continental.
By the way, today I was prepared
Mm-hmm.
because I knew I was going to need more water. And last time, if you recall, there was an episode where I had to leave the room to get more water. I have finished this one, and so I brought this one to refill it, so I'm ready.
Pink and purple, just like Meridian loves. By the
Right?
way, Bibleridian has given his official pronouncement. He says, still not sure what's going on, but whatever it is, I find it to be absolutely outrageous. So,
Yes.
we're done. We're
Wonderful.
done. Wait, did you just fill up the pink one with the purple one?
Yes. Do you want to know why?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So do you see this one is like a normal size to drink from?
Yeah.
Do you see this one is like Gigantor?
Goodness
And
gracious.
I won't say this has ever actually happened, but when you're at the front of a classroom and you take a swig out of this one and you miss your mouth,
Oh, yeah.
a lot pours down the front of you before you catch it. And so I've learned to not drink from this one. I won't say my students saw me totally give myself a missed water bath.
Okay. Okay, something that begins with a verb that takes verb begins with a vowel, takes an object. We got anything?
Oh, ugon, because remember you can touch the berries. It's right there below it.
The berry
Do you
bunches.
see it? Ugon huiba.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is turning out to be really, really good in terms of a language grammar. So, touch the bunch of berries with your whiskers. This is exactly the type of examples you see in some of these grammars. There's kind of like a running. It's like a non-visual meme. Do we have a word for that? Or an in-joke at Berkeley Linguistics amongst the undergraduates about things having to do with bunchberries, but like gathering bunchberries, because they show up as an example in the language that Andrew Garrett works on all the time, and so it's like everything has to do with the bunchberries. In my year, it was the watershed because I had no idea what it was. But like their entire Deixis system was represented based on their proximity to the watershed. And I was like, what the hell is a watershed?
Besides a watershed moment.
Oh. But it's wow. It's weird. But like it's a geographical feature, right? It's not an actual shed, you know?
Shed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's probably from shed, shedding the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Actually.
Here we go. No, Mateus has it. It's because of the absurd bunchberry examples in Mithune's book, Marianne Mithune's book.
Oh.
Got it. Thank you.
Love it. Also, by the way, apparently watershed was originally compounded with shed in the sense of ridge of high ground.
Ooh.
And it was suggested by, I don't know what that means, German Wassershed. Now, how does German suggest? It doesn't say patterned after. It was suggested by. It's interesting.
Well, it was just, it was a comment form. And then, German user Wassershed said, hey, why not?
Why not? Okay, so David in the comments, Biblaridian has something for you to pronounce for all of us.
He had his possession of bunchberry plant. Oh my goodness.
So if you could go ahead and pronounce that.
I mean, but this isn't strictly IPA, is it?
Let's assume it is.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm going to hope that those are ejectives. So what?
Oh, that was beautiful.
I mean, that was terrible, but I am game to learn how to do that.
Right?
It's really geminate.
Well, Biblaridian, did you see there's an updated IPA?
No, I guess it hasn't shown up on mine yet.
Okay. Because there are some extra little diacritics for you.
Important note. The form of the... You don't want to call it a matrix verb, right? It's the content verb, right? The form of the content verb is invariant with respect to agreement and aspect. Yeah. No, I get treat the voiceless fricatives like vowels, but it's just really hard to do that geminate in there. So
and it's a lot of them back to back.
Oh no, it is live. Oh no, it is live chat. No, we're fine. Squits. So yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry. Squits. It's really the geminate that's throwing me off.
The ending of it is
squits.
Cute.
Yeah, squits.
Yeah. Oh, I would need to practice that for a very long time.
This reminds me of Simon's Quest, old NES game. Very kind of like an incorrect translation. Oh, an American chickenberry. Yeah, that makes it clear.
What's a chickenberry?
But in what would you call it? So in Simon's Quest, when you apparently gathered Dracula's body parts that you could put him together so you could kill him. It never made sense to me. But when you gather one of Dracula's body parts, it was an incorrect translation. So it would say, for example, you now process Dracula's heart.
You now process?
As opposed to possess.
Possess. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Also, apparently the bunchberry is related. It's part of the dogwood family. That makes sense to me. I know what dogwoods are, so.
I don't.
Nothing?
I grew up in concrete.
That is such a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But applesauce project. I suddenly want someone to use chicken berries in a pie.
Gosh, I want a chicken pot pie. Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess technically, since I called that a particle, I don't even need to say content verb, even though it did come from a verb. Okay, so the form of the verb is invariant with respect to agreement aspect. Okay, so we've got that done. So we wrote that down. And so then we were going to go back to this. And we were going to revisit that. Okay, so, oh, that's my animal fat over there. Well, that is something that gets said a lot, because if somebody is taking your animal fat.
I was not looking at chat when you said that. I was looking at our note on absolutive and ablative. And the next thing I hear is, that's my animal fat over there. Okay, keeping up. That is a great example as well.
Okay. Okay, so then we want to go back to where our prepositions were. There they are. What a nice drop cap. Thank you, drop cap. Okay.
It does make it easier to see things. That is nice.
Linea. This is our ablative, and our ablative comes from leave to, right?
Yes.
Yeah, leave and leave to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so I'm not as keen to that anymore. So the thing at issue is, I smell the plant. So like smell, something, plant. The idea being that the one that is most affected by and experiences smelling should be the embedded argument. And that the experience is engendered by the thing that you're experiencing. So the plant, in this case, that's being smelled. Same thing with see. And so originally I just dropped that comment to use ablative, but I was thinking that whatever we did for ablative would be a lot more basic than what we ended up doing, and so I'm not necessarily as fond of that right now. So what are your thoughts? Essentially, it's like the reason that I'm smelling is because of this plant that, or whatever, or the reason that I'm seeing is because of this plant that I'm seeing. We need something. And so if we were to do ablative, what we would be saying is smell I and then leaving at, or leaving via, just write the in there, plant. So I'm experiencing smell, and that experience is leaving from the plant. That's the logic of it.
That actually makes sense to me, I guess.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with it because it's like emanating from the plant, right? So it's coming out of.
Yeah.
And I'm.
Now, how?
Because even like to see or something like that, it would be the same thing. Like you're sending an image out that I can see.
Okay. So in other words, my scene starts out and it leaves from this thing. I guess I was a little hesitant because it was so big in terms of a preposition. Okay. But
Mike says, "What about the verb is have or experience, and we use the zero-derived noun with inalienable possession of the source of the smell. Like, I have the smell of the plant.
It would be I am smelling. That would be so what you would be suggesting is that we would never use experience or verbs as verbs. It would be something very different.
Right. They would, at that point, just be the...
Yeah. Now, we hadn't settled on if we were going to have anything like a verb for have. So I wouldn't necessarily want to cross that bridge right away.
Right.
But it certainly does make sense. It certainly does make sense if all of our verbs are zero-deriving to nouns quite easily. In other words, I gather in the smell of the plant. That really is nice, isn't it?
To say, like, I gather, yeah. Or something like that.
It totally torpedoes the entire experience or verb paradigm.
It does, yes.
But it is really nice.
And it also means we have to decide for sure how we're going to deal with those nominal forms, because all of them would be like smell of the plant, sight of the whatever.
It would also mean that the structure would be gather, smell, plant, ergative, I. It'd be a pretty well, now isn't this a thing?
Well, now isn't this a thing? I love how you said that, and I can't wait to see what follows it.
Well, because if you're going to this trouble, might as well start off and say, well, heck, maybe they're all nouns. And maybe gather becomes a prefix, a verbalizing prefix. And so you start off with gather, smell, plant, ergative, I, and end up with, something like and this prefix takes these nouns and turns them into verbs, and turns them into transitive verbs. And then it gives us all of these things like smell and things like that are just nouns. If they're verbs used on their own, this would mean the plant smells of something, or the plant is smelly, and it doesn't necessarily need to be smelling bad, but you know what I'm saying?
Right. And then that's an interesting... in a language, why do we even need necessarily the ability to say, I smelled the plant? Like, if you say the plant smells nice, obviously you know it because you experienced it. And so, like, why do we even need to ever say, I smelled it, somebody smelled it?
I think it's just habit, because you can do that so easily with verbs in languages like English. Now, the only place where I'm going to wonder about this is with our verb for see, because I still want something. That's basic for see. And there could be a distinction where C equals C and our gather C equals look. That would be fine. But I still want something. I still want something that is C, I, whatever, and that's I see the rock. And it still has to be something that's oblique. But I do like this. I do like this this derivational strategy we've come up with. I'm happy with it. I think we can do it. But we've got to have something for just to see. I can't do it. I need something.
Okay. Now, our preposition for toward actually comes from C, Lucy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that meant inside of.
That meant toward.
No, but like it derived from the idea of it being inside of the rock. So it's like you move to a point where you can see it, so you're moving towards it.
You're saying
the etymology.
Sight.
Yeah. Oh, you thought I was saying inside.
And I was like, no, I'm looking right at it. Oos is inside. In sight.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so... Okay.
I feel like this is a... Okay, I take out the I feel like. This is a big decision. And, like, this is something that I would... On live TV, it's not as exciting. But I would normally just write out a lot of examples and see which I like better coming together, which just requires... staring at a page for a while and figuring out what feels best.
We can do a poll on this one.
I think regardless, we should probably get a word for gather, so that way if we go that route, we have it. And if we don't go that route, we would still need the verb anyway, because, it's a good verb to have.
Yeah, no, we can do that. That's fine. And we can spend the rest of our time making that prefix for gather. That I'm totally fine with that. But I think maybe we should do our poll on this experience or construction.
Bless you.
Sorry, Dad.
That was a good sneeze.
It was a terrible dad, though. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so as a reminder, up above the river Zeus, we have some bases, and I'm going to add one more to it from patrons that we haven't used yet. Oops. That's the modern form.
We'll work on that.
I forgot to add in Zeus. That's complete. Okay, so that... We have some options there. If you want to go that route.
Yeah. So no, word for gather, we need something that can possibly become a suffix, prefix, without too much trouble. So some sort of, if it's disyllabic, some sort of consonant that can be run over right in the middle of it. What have we got available to us? Where should I be looking?
Above the river Zeus, which is just below where you are right now.
Oh, I see. So Kalo, Kali, Tiali,
yes.
And Lolo.
Yes.
My initial reaction is Kali. That can become Kai.
Oh, and that was actually something that Mike had suggested last time, wanting to have that as a reduced form to Kai.
It's pretty cool. Let's try it out. We're just all in for the diphthongs this episode here.
That's right, Roman.
Did you hear that?
I did.
My sweet boy, come here. Roman, my boy. Roman. Come. Show everybody your belly. We'll see. I'll get him. Just you wait. So this is Kali would be Kakali. Is that how this is working? How's it working for the reduplication? Kali, Kakali.
That one would be voiced because there would be nothing to block it, and it would be right.
Yeah.
So it'd be Kagali.
Yeah, we weren't. Yeah, it wasn't like going to become something weird like Kaigali, was it? I don't know.
No.
I can never remember what the heck it was I did. I mean, theoretically, I can go back and watch it, but I mean, I already lived it, so I didn't want to watch it.
Oh, there is a note here on Kali that I missed on the document. I guess the spear carrier had been a suggestion for a meaning for that, and I don't want to ruin if that was your suggestion, if that was your name. Let me know if we're ruining it by...
Yeah.
We also have Kalima, though. That is another one.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm looking at what Chris Helvey is suggesting right now in the comments, and that's plausible, and I can't remember if that was what I originally intended or not.
Oh.
I remember something about that, but I just don't remember what we did. But it's how we... I don't know. I couldn't possibly guess at this point. It's just... Ugh, so frustrating. This is why you write it down. You write it down step by step, so it's clear.
Well, if we go back and rewatch all of them.
Okay. Oh, Chechesi is absolutely right, yes. I remember I went over that with a fine-tooth comb. Yes, it's definitely correct. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Okay, so here is the process. Find the first consonant after the first syllable. Assume that consonant is the coda of the previous syllable. Apply sound changes as if the coda were there. Delete the coda. Attach the prefix.
Okay, say that again. Let's do it.
So find the first consonant after the first syllable.
Okay.
Assume that consonant is the coda of the previous syllable.
Is it... Okay.
And apply sound changes as if the coda were there.
Okay, so nothing happens, right?
Then delete the coda and attach the prefix, which is kind of already attached, I think. We actually wrote that down, David.
Okay. So
and by we, you would have typed it.
The only thing I'm thinking is that L would have vocalized.
That would be the potential. And I want to check, because I feel like we definitely had a conversation about whether or not it would be all voiced or only...
I know we didn't do anything with this in the sound changes. Right?
Because I thought it was only voiced between vowels, but then we had a whole thing about what do you count?
No, but what I was wondering was, did this L vocalize so that rather than it becoming Kakali, it became Kai Kali?
Oh, that's what you're asking. Okay, yeah, no, we don't have that.
Isaac, the protoform of Kaupi is Kaupi, Kaupi.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have for smell scent right now? Just want to...
For smell, make sure I'm typing in the find box this time. Oh goodness, we've typed that word a lot.
Really?
Imes.
Imes, okay.
Yeah, with stress on the second syllable.
Brother. So, this is obviously going to become Pelusi. And this is, and then what's kindness? Kindness, maybe, or just kindness. And then I'm just gonna make up another word. There. Now at least we've got it all written down somewhere. Yeah, that guy Lucy. Okay, just I needed that written down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Kindness. Thank you. Thank you, Alk. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what it should be. Yeah. That is what it should be. Okay, good. That's done. So that's somewhere. So now we can figure out this, the vocalization of L. Can anybody remember what I said about the vocalization of L? Are there any examples of this? This is driving me nuts. I could have sworn, but the thing is I don't remember if it's this language I was doing it for or some other language where L becomes a ya in coda position because it can't do anything else. So rather than just being deleted, there's a trace of it. And then, so that's question one. Question one, did L vocalize to ya? Question two, did this result in a modern I or A? Because I don't remember.
Right. And I remember we definitely talked about that last time. I'm trying to remember why, and it may have just been because we had all those prepositions with the L's.
Maybe that was it. Maybe I'm remembering something that was more recent than when we were actually dealing with the reduplication.
But I'm not sure.
A lot of people are saying they don't remember this. So it could be another language that I was working on.
Okay.
Language I know that it happened. I know that it happened in a language that I was working on with Carl Buck, in fact. I know that it happened there.
Okay.
Vocalized to ya, not wa, because it was a very la front of the mouth L. No, I think it's still going to be ka Lucy, not ke Lucy, Tangui, because the I came after the L, not before. But for then this one, so then is it Roman, come here, my boy. Roman, come here so I can pet you.
Cat inspiration.
Does the cave voice? I guess it doesn't.
Okay.
But then it does make sense that it would be oh go.
On which one? Sorry, because I was looking to see if I could find.
To fall, it does make sense that it would be oh go because if you go by those rules that we came up with, you do go to the first consonant after the first vowel, you drop off whatever vowel comes after it. There isn't one, right? And then you apply sound changes, and then you go. Okay, so the only question is what happens to that L.
Right.
And does it cause voicing or not? And I think that it should not.
So in terms of causing voicing of what follows it, no, because we actually had plus vowel on either side, so it's between vowels.
No, but it did also go between semivowels. That was important. It did do semivowels, so ya and wa. But I guess
yes,
and so it's like
because those are both old vowel forms.
So it's like ya and wa. The glides are in between vowels and consonants, but in between consonants, and glides, there are other approximants like l. But I guess we have to draw the line somewhere. And so it might as well be there. And so then really it should be kakali. Kakali. Not kagali. All right.
Right.
So let's just right there. Hold on. There. It's supposed to be this.
Always good to clearly mark those things.
Yes.
Okay. So looking at the time,
yes.
Just to repeat, the poll is going to be about this option.
Yeah.
Of how we're going to deal with experiencers.
I'll make that work.
By the way, if we decide that they are actually nouny rather than verby, we may have to change examples because we've got those in the verb example sections.
What do we have in the verb example sections? Can you show me?
I believe it was smell specifically. It's in the verb chart and the green charts and the reference grammar.
Oh no, that's fine. It's probably not going to mean the same thing.
Okay.
But due to but actually in English that could still be fine, right? Okay. Because to smell can mean both to actively sniff something or to give off a scent. So we're fine.
Right. Okay, perfect. As long as we don't have to go and change. Okay, so that is where we are then. We just need to get these put together into sentences.
We can also add something here. Wait. Yeah. What? Yes. And what do we call this? An active?
Oh, for the Kai, if we make this happen?
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Oh, yeah. Don't you dare.
What would you call that?
I know I've called it an inactive before, but there was another fancier word for it, and I had that word at some point in time in my life, but I've forgotten it.
See if I can.
Verbalizer is terrible.
A denominalizer?
There is that.
I really think we should do something like verbification.
Venitive is probably the best. I mean, the question is, what do you write down that you're going to remember that's going to call to mind the thing that this is supposed to do? I think a venitive is going to do it. Glominizer.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's like, so essentially it's like you're turning this noun idea into some event that's happening. So hopefully that will call it to mind, and reject everything else. So
Chris is suggesting experiential venitive.
Experiential venitive. I wouldn't know what that meant though. That might be good. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, but we're not gonna. I don't think that we have the appropriate vocabulary to do this. But essentially, we want one of them that does that, one of them that does that, and one of them that does that, and then I don't know, one wild card for something else. We should have we should have things that begin with different things here. So this one is going to be. Let's have this one begin with a voiceless consonant, and then like, I don't know, maybe this one begin with a nasal or something. I don't know. This one's going to have to begin with I, and that's going to be this one we do have. Mes is going to be a scent, right? Is that correct?
That's smell, yeah.
Yes. So kalimes, that's done. And then we had another one. Did we have another one up there?
We had to see, which is Lucy.
Lucy, that's right. Okay. And that one gets this. Yeah, no, that's right. Kind of weird that these are going to be our nouns to do, but whatever. And then this is going to be, it's going to have to get, oh no. I really wish I could talk like Jack Brower on command. Is that his name?
The guy from 24?
No, 30 Rock.
Oh.
Gosh, I'm sorry, Miss Lemon. No, I can't. Oh, that was terrible. I really need to work on that.
Did we just make up a word?
Kenneth
for Kayala?
His name is Kenneth. What? Brayer. What?
The example above, you had Kayala, Allah being
I just wanted something in there so I remembered.
Well, put it there and we'll make up a word, what it means.
The initial.
I like it.
Okay. Is it not a word already?
I'm guessing not, because I just asked you what it meant, and you said no, it's not a word.
Alu is a drop of rain.
Yes.
You know, that could mean something. To gather rain on something. To gather the rain of something. That's what the sense would be. To be to gather the rain of something.
Like, are you thinking metaphorical or more like literal?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's how the construction ought to work.
Because that could be like, I'm getting a sense about you.
Yeah.
Like I'm gathering the rain. Like I'm getting facts. I'm
Oh.
Sensing.
To assess. I can't believe that we have a word for to assess. I'm sorry. So up here, that's rain. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I'm going to write that down immediately because
please do.
This is the first language I've ever had a word for to assess. That is absolutely absurd. I love it. So Kenneth Parcell is the name of the character, of course. What is the name of the actor? Is it Brayer? His last name is Brayer, isn't it? He, of course, was one of the stars of Wreck-It Ralph, which is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Indeed.
Oh. Though that character in the beginning in the support group that says his name is Satine, it's not a real character. It's not from anything. Like he's the only Jack McBrayer. Thank you.
McBrayer, yes. Oh, and by the way, Zach, thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and wait a minute. Not there. Not there. This is going to go in the K's. We're not doing that type of a thing. Okay.
And you said we needed a nasal?
Oh, wait, but we've never entered a verb before, have we? Whoops! Okay.
Nope.
Wow.
Which is why we keep having to search every time we want to try to find one.
And then Chechesi.
Although, oddly enough, we have entered some verbs. I don't know why. Because to smell and to sit are both in the dictionary.
Where are they?
Under the I entries.
Oh my god, we're going to have to rip out everything by the roots.
It's all over now.
Okay, it's just got, okay, good.
We also have to wait. Hima.
I added them. I added them because I wanted to put them in as examples. I'll fix the smell thing, but so kakayalu. But how do we feel about this? Okay, so kayalu is the perfective, and the imperfective is kakayalu. Where's that stress going to go?
Just a second, because I feel like we had very strong feelings about where the stress was going to be on the reduplication. Although it looks like everything just stayed initial stress, otherwise we would have had to have marked stress. Okay, so going back to our example, and I'm just double checking. I don't think we. Oh my word.
I think Isaac is right. I think Isaac is right. Because if this thing is ultimately coming from a nominal expression, then the stress needs to be on wherever it was supposed to be, which is the noun. So kakayalo. So it's fine as it is. Okay, to assess. Any other way you would characterize that, or is assess the best and only definition that we need for this word?
Assess or evaluate, I guess.
To assess, to evaluate, thank you. That's going to help me get to it, because I'll never remember assess. And of course, when you're defining things like this, you just want to make sure that you remember it exists. That's all. Mm-hmm. It's not as if the definition you write is the end-all and be-all of what that thing is going to mean. It's just so that you can remember to find it so you can use it.
Ellis also suggested analyze, potentially.
I get a different sense of analyze from the English that I don't have with this one. But, I'll have to give
because this one, I guess I was thinking more of just like collecting information.
Daniel, yes, we did stress already. So it was just a question of where. So Vairu, no, it's not kayalu, it's kayalu, and the reason is because of how the whole thing worked. Anytime you have that diphthong, or when it's followed by a glide, the ah didn't become an ah. It just stayed a ya. Now, whether that should be different because this is essentially a compound, on an older compound, I suppose is an open question. But I was treating it like it was just standard. So because it had the ya coming before it, it's ah and not ah.
I like that.
To investigate is actually pretty good. I'm going to add that. That helps.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we did that. Oh, we have these. What's our word for I?
For like the body part?
No, the pronoun.
Pronoun. Oh, let me go grab that one. It is un.
And what about it?
It is either me, ja, or tu.
Inanimate.
Inanimate tu.
Because we have two animates, but not two inanimates.
Correct. We have rabbit animate me, non-rabbit animate ja, inanimate tu.
Ja is Z-H-A?
Yes.
We didn't add those to the dictionary. All right, this is a longer project. Anyway, okay, good. Good. Good rabbitness. I like. Yes. Okay, so we've got some more things done, and we have some more things to do. So it's pretty much just like every day, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
And I feel like it's a good place to end a little late.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sticking around.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a great place to stop and be ready for next time.
Yeah. All right. So thanks again for being here. Thanks for being a nice distraction.
Yes.
And yeah, like, man, next week we'll do some more stuff. But man, we made some pretty good progress.
Maybe we'll actually get to negation next week.
Oh, is that what we were doing?
Next week.
I forgot about that.
This is the episode where we don't do negation.
Yeah. And I'm not going to raise the question right at the end of, well, why are these new compound verbs actually agreeing with the absolutive arguments if the thing on the end was a noun? I'm not going to bring up that issue.
We're going to worry about that later.
We're going to worry about that later.
In the meantime,
oh, yes.
Everyone stay safe, stay well, and stay grammar.